Have you ever caught him looking at you, really looking, like he used to in the beginning? Not because you asked a question, not because you walked into the room, but because, for a moment, he saw you the way he did all those years ago, beautiful, effortless, unforgettable. And if you haven't felt that in a while, this video is for you. Welcome to Healthwise for Seniors, the place where elegance has no age and where confidence doesn't fade, it evolves. Today, we're talking about dresses, not the ones trending on social media, not the ones that cost a fortune, but the quiet, beautiful, everyday dresses that somehow bring back the light in his eyes, the ones that make him pause, the ones that make him smile, not because you tried, but because you reminded him of something real, of someone he still loves, even if he hasn't said it out loud in a while. Now, some people will say, love isn't about dresses. It's about trust, loyalty, and time. And they're not wrong. But let me ask you this. What if a single dress could spark all those feelings just by the way it moves when you do? What if it could make you feel a little more alive? And make him remember what he felt the very first time he saw you? We're about to explore 6 elegant, emotionally powerful dresses, not to impress anyone, but to reconnect with the kind of beauty that whispers rather than shouts. But before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Healthwise for Seniors. Some dresses don't need to shout to be noticed. A burgundy silk dress whispers. It doesn't demand attention, it draws it in. The deep wine hue isn't the bold red of youth. It's richer, slower, more refined. It carries the warmth of shared sunsets and long conversations, of years lived and love weathered but never worn out. Why does burgundy make men turn their heads even after decades of marriage? Because it speaks of mystery and confidence. Burgundy is the color of matured passion, not the spark, but the slow-burning ember that keeps the room warm. On silk, it becomes almost hypnotic. It moves with grace, skims the skin, and suggests more than it reveals. It's not overt, it's intentional. Silk itself is a sensual fabric, soft, fluid, alive with motion. But when it's burgundy, it becomes a memory, a moment, a quiet reminder that elegance isn't about revealing, it's about remembering. Remembering who you are and inviting someone to see you that way again. Take Lauren Hutton, for example. On her 50th wedding anniversary, she wore a flowing burgundy dress, nothing tight, nothing flashy. Just silk, confidence, and history. And her husband, the way he looked at her, with the same awe as a man seeing the love of his life walk toward him for the very first time. That glance became the headline, not the dress, not the party. Just the way he saw her. And that's what this dress can do. You don't need a special occasion. You don't need to wait for a fancy dinner. Slip into that burgundy silk, at home, on the porch, in the golden light of late afternoon, and feel how the world, or perhaps just his world, begins to shift around you. Because a truly elegant woman doesn't chase attention. She inspires devotion, quiet. Some dresses don't need to dazzle. They simply whisper elegance, like a soft memory you didn't know your heart was still holding on to. An ivory A-line dress does exactly that. It doesn't cling. It doesn't reveal. Yet somehow, under soft morning light, or in the golden hour of a quiet afternoon, it makes you glow from the inside out. The kind of glow your partner notices not because you're trying, but because you're simply being. Ivory is not stark white. It's softer, warmer, like old love letters tucked away in a drawer. On an A-line silhouette, it becomes timeless, flowing, forgiving, and flattering on every woman who has lived, loved, and laughed enough to know that style isn't about impressing, it's about remembering who you are. Picture this, it's Saturday morning. The kitchen is filled with the smell of fresh coffee. You move across the room in your ivory dress, barefoot, holding a small bowl of fruit. The fabric sways ever so slightly, catching the morning light. He watches from the doorway, quiet, still, as if seeing you for the first time all over again. That's the kind of beauty this dress carries. Unspoken, unforced, unforgettable. Or maybe it's a Sunday stroll. You're walking through the neighborhood farmer's market, canvas tote in hand, a breeze catching the hem of your dress just enough to make you smile. He reaches out instinctively, not to take your photo, but to take your hand. Because in that moment, you've become poetry in motion, not flashy, just real. This kind of effortless charm reminds us of women like Diane Lane, who, in her 50s and 60s, never tried to look younger, only more herself. Her style is quiet but captivating, much like the ivory A-line dress. It speaks of substance, of history, of the kind of woman who doesn't need to ask for attention because she already has presence. And here's the truth. Men don't always know why they notice, but they do. They notice the calm grace, the lightness of your step, the way the dress floats rather than fits, and somewhere deep in memory, it connects to a moment, maybe the first time he held your hand, unsure, hopeful, completely taken by you. So wear the ivory dress in the kitchen, on the porch, down the street. Not because it's trendy, but because in it, there's something undeniably powerful about a black maxi dress with just the right amount of movement. It doesn't shout. It doesn't sparkle. It doesn't need to. The slit, not high, not dramatic, reveals just a hint of leg when you walk, almost like a punctuation mark at the end of a graceful sentence. And that's the key. It's suggestive, not revealing. It leaves room for the imagination, and that's often where the most meaningful glances live, in the pause between what's shown and what's sensed. Black is timeless. It holds mystery, elegance, and gravity. But when worn in a soft, flowing fabric, think chiffon, crepe, or jersey, and combined with a gentle slit, it transforms from formal to unexpectedly romantic. The dress becomes less about formality, more about feeling. It's not a gown for a grand event, it's a gown for a quiet evening where your presence becomes the moment. Imagine stepping out onto your porch at dusk. The evening breeze lifts the hem of your dress just slightly. The slit moves barely and his eyes follow, not out of lust but of awe, because what he sees is not just beauty, it's restraint. It's maturity. It's confidence. Actress Andie MacDowell, now in her 60s, is a stunning example of this kind of beauty. She's often seen on red carpets wearing flowing black dresses that never cling too tightly, never try too hard, but always capture attention. Not with sparkle, not with skin, but with presence. The way she moves, smiles, walks, the dress simply follows her, not the other way around. This kind of controlled sensuality is especially powerful for women over 60. It says, "I know who I am, I don't need to prove anything, but I also haven't forgotten how to feel alive in my own body." The slit doesn't need to go up the thigh. Sometimes, it's just enough to show the sway of your step, the grace in your gait. And the color black, it holds secrets. It flatters every silhouette. It allows you to take up space quietly, the kind of quiet that makes people lean in. So whether you're walking into a jazz lounge, a small dinner party, or simply lighting candles, there's something captivating about the combination of a simple slip dress and a lightweight cardigan. At first glance, it feels almost accidental, like you threw it on without thinking. But that's exactly what makes it so disarming. It's effortless, natural, real. The slip dress brings soft sensuality. It skims the body, hinting at curves without clinging. The fabric, often silk or satin, glides with your movement, catching light like a whisper. It's undeniably feminine. But when you layer it with a delicate cardigan, something magical happens. You add dimension, contrast, a little mystery. The cardigan softens the look, grounding it. Suddenly, you're not just dressed up. You're approachable, warm, alive. The slip says, "Notice me." The cardigan says, "But take your time." This pairing evokes that beautiful tension between elegance and rebellion, between being polished and being untamed. And no one embodies this better than Diane Keaton. She's made a career out of redefining femininity, always refined, but never restricted. You'll often see her wearing long flowing layers, adding structure to softness, and giving every outfit a hint of playful contradiction. Think of this look as a Sunday morning mood with Friday night energy. It's the outfit you wear when you're not trying to impress anyone and end up turning every head in the room. Picture yourself stepping out to the garden for a casual brunch at home. A soft ivory slip dress, a light cardigan draped gently over your shoulders, hair loosely pinned. You're radiant, but it's not the outfit doing all the work. It's the ease, the quiet confidence, the feeling that you're completely at home in your own skin, and that's what draws him in. He notices the soft curve of your neck as you reach for a plate, the way the cardigan falls off one shoulder ever so slightly. There's nothing loud or flashy, and yet he can't take his eyes off you. This outfit says, I'm still full of surprises, still full of softness, still worth looking at, not just once but again. It's a reminder that some dresses don't make a statement, they make a memory. A ditzy floral chiffon dress isn't just fabric and print. It's the scent of wildflowers on a breezy April morning. It's the soft rustle of laughter under a tree during your very first picnic together. It's you, before the responsibilities, before the decades rolled in, just you, with sunshine in your hair and lightness in your step. What makes tiny florals on chiffon so quietly powerful is their ability to awaken nostalgia. The delicate pattern feels like something from a Sunday morning long ago, fresh, simple, alive. And chiffon, it doesn't hug your body. It dances around it. It follows your movements the way his eyes used to, gently, curiously, and without expectation. Imagine a morning in the garden, you in your floral dress, a straw hat tipped slightly to the side, pulling weeds or watering basil. He watches you from the porch, coffee in hand, thinking how lucky he is to witness this version of you, soft, grounded content. Or picture the two of you walking barefoot through a park trail, your dress catching the breeze like a melody. He reaches for your hand, not out of habit, but because in that moment, he's pulled back to that spring afternoon when he first realized, this is the woman I want to grow old with. That's the magic of the ditzy floral dress. It doesn't try to impress, it reminds. It reminds him of everything pure and playful about your early days together. And maybe even more importantly, it reminds you that those parts of you, the light-hearted, daydreaming, flower-picking girl, they're not gone. They've just been waiting for the right dress to come back to life. Women like Susan Sarandon have long championed this kind of timeless femininity, choosing prints and fabrics that feel organic, lived in, emotionally rich. It's not about youth, it's about essence. So wear that dress. Wear it to the farmer's market, to brunch, or simply out into the backyard on a breezy Saturday. Let it move. Let it breathe. Let it carry you and him. There are moments when words become unnecessary, when presence alone changes the mood of a room. A pastel slip dress, softly draping along the lines of your body, with one bare shoulder gently revealed, has the power to do just that. There's no need for bold prints, tight fits, or sparkling accessories. The slip dress, especially in muted tones like blush pink, pale lavender, or misty blue, carries a quiet kind of elegance, one that speaks directly to memory, emotion, and intimacy. The fabric whispers rather than shouts, the color soothes rather than provokes, and the bare shoulder, it doesn't ask for attention, it earns it naturally, effortlessly. Picture the scene, it's a summer evening. The doors to the balcony are open. A warm amber light glows from the wall sconce, blending with the soft flicker of a candle nearby. The music playing is something familiar, a classic from the 70s or an old jazz tune he once played for you on a road trip. You step out in your slip dress, hair loosely tied, feet bare, a glass of wine in hand. You don't say a word because you don't have to. He looks up from his chair. His face doesn't change, but his eyes soften. In that moment, he's not thinking about the bills or the news or tomorrow's calendar. He's seeing you. Just you. The same you who once walked into a party years ago and stole his breath before you even spoke. That's the kind of power a pastel slip dress holds, not because of what it reveals, but how it allows you to feel in your own skin. It wraps you in lightness, nostalgia, and self-possession. It's femininity distilled to its purest form. Grace in stillness. Women like Michelle Pfeiffer, now in her 60s, have mastered this aesthetic, wearing soft, flowing pastels that glow under dim light. She doesn't chase attention. She becomes the moment. And when you wear a pastel slip dress with a shoulder slipping just slightly, you become that too. This isn't about impressing anyone. It's about stepping into a space and shifting its rhythm. Quietly, intentionally, with the kind of confidence that comes not from trying to look young, but from knowing you've never stopped being beautiful. So now you've seen them, 6 dresses that don't just flatter your body. They wake something up, not just in him, but in you, because this isn't about turning back time. It's about stepping into your presence. It's about remembering that beauty isn't behind you. It's in every moment you choose to show up with softness, with grace, with quiet confidence. And sometimes, all it takes is a gentle slip dress, a hint of movement, a whisper of chiffon, or a color that carries the weight of memory. Maybe tonight you won't wait for an occasion. Maybe you'll just put on that dress. Yes, that one. Walk into the room and let him look at you, really look, like it's the very first time, because in many ways it still is. If this video reminded you of who you are, of the woman you still are, then let that stay with you. Let it shape the way you walk, the way you smile, the way you wear your story with elegance. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to like,